Hi everybody, welcome to Ecolo Burkina. Today we are going to continue our programs with a new grammar lesson which is entitled The Passive Voice. So together we are going to discover what is the content of this lesson. Grammar point. The passive voice. So since we are still in 5e, our concern for this lesson when it comes to tenses is going to be the simple present and the simple past. So if you want, simple tenses. Let's start this lesson with capital A. How do we form the passive voice? How do we form it? This is what we're going to see in this first point. So let's go with some sentences. The first sentence is the mouse is eaten by the cat. Another sentence, the homeworks are not done by the pupils. Another sentence, football was played by the children. Another sentence, were the books written by many. Authors. So, in these sentences on the board, you can see that there are three forms. You have affirmative sentences, negative sentence, and interrogative sentence. All of the three forms are found in these sentences on the board. Now, what we are looking for here is how to form the passive voice. Forming the passive voice here is going to be based on the tense. How do we form the tense in the passive voice. So you can see that the rule to form the tense is to be plus the past participle of the verb. Here to be is in the simple present, here it is in the simple past. So you have to conjugate to be and you add the past participle of the verb to make the tense in the passive. So, rule of the passive tense. We have to be plus past participle. To be plus the past participle of the verb. This is how we form the tense in the passive voice. Now, the second point of this lesson will concern how to go from active to passive. So capital B, from active to passive. How do we go from active to passive? All of these sentences are passive, but how do we get them? Okay, let's go from active now. Active. The sentence is the cat eats the mouse. The mouse. In the passive, the tense here is the simple present. So we conjugate to be in the simple present too. To be in the simple present is or are. Okay? Is or are. But here we consider is. The past participle of this verb is eaten. So we write eaten. Now the tense is okay in the passive. The changes we have to make now for our sentence to be complete is that this is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the object. The object becomes the subject in the passive. So the mouse comes here. The mouse comes here, so the mouse is eaten. Now the subject becomes the agent, which is introduced by the cat. So the subject comes here. Subject becomes agent, and object becomes subject in the passive. Okay? So in the passive, the sentence is the mouse is eaten by the cat. Okay? The subject in the active becomes the agent. The agent, le complément d'agent. And the direct object, complément d'objet direct, becomes the subject in the passive sentence. Good. So if this is understood, let's go to some notes. Note. the subject of the active becomes the agent. In the passive. Next note that the agent is introduced by the object, the direct object of the active becomes the subject in the passive. And another remark we shall do is that the tense of to be is the tense of the verb of the active. The tense of to be corresponds to the tense of the active verb. So you see, also bear into mind that in the passive, the subject subdues the action. Donc, à la voix passive, le sujet subit l'action. Okay? The mouse is eaten by the cat. Donc, ici, la souris est mangée par le chat. Ici, la souris étant le sujet subit l'action d'être mangée. Donc, comme on le dit en français, il en est de même pour l'anglais. Le sujet subit l'action à la voix passive. Dans notre exemple ici, la souris est mangée par le chat. La souris subit l'action d'être mangée par le chat. Great. So, alors, avant de passer de la voix active à la voix passive, rassurez-vous d'avoir un complément d'objet direct à la voix active. Alors, comme les transformations l'indiquent ici, le COD devient le sujet à la voix passive et le sujet de la voix active devient le complément d'agent qui est introduit par by, la préposition by. So, this is our lesson on the passive voice. When you go to form 3, quand vous serez en 4e, vous aurez plus de détails. Ici donc, on s'est attelé sur les temps simples de l'anglais qui sont le simple present et le simple past. Probablement en classe de 4e, vous verrez la voix passive avec les temps composés. Le futur, le present perfect, le simple conditional. Voilà. Alors ici, on fait la leçon de façon très simple pour que le processus soit compris. So, this is the end of our lesson. Thank you for attending and I'll see you next time for some practices. Goodbye.